Finally, the wait is over and you have completed your paper 1 of prelims 2021, my dear friends. I hope it has gone extraordinarily well. Awesome, fantastic. Even if you have not done extraordinarily well, it's absolutely okay because you just can't predict the cutoff like last year. As you know, my dear friends, the cutoff actually that UPSC announced was very different from all the predictions made by almost all the institutes in India. So, what I have to say is, without a second thought, just start preparing for mains. But then, I would just like to share my analysis of paper 1 very briefly with you, my dear friends. Given 15 years of experience with IAS coaching, I have seen so many papers of prelims, especially paper 1, and this is one of its kind. I would like to share with you how this paper is similar and different from other papers in the past. Vinay Kumar here, international NLP and IAS coach. So in this video, my dear friends, I'm going to share with you my analysis of paper 1, what areas have come more, what areas have come down, and even within the areas that UPSC has chosen to give you as questions, what is it actually concentrating upon? Let's learn all of this in this video, my dear friends. So if you are ready, my dear friends, just tune into this for the next 10 minutes, being absolutely ready. Thank you, my dear friends. First, let me give you a broad breakup of areas that have come in the paper. As I saw, my dear friend, there are around 15 to 16 questions of economy, around 14 questions of science, 14 questions of environment and ecology, 20 questions of history, 14 questions of geography, 18 questions of polity, and 5 general knowledge questions. This is the breakup that I could see, my dear friends. Now, when we talk about science, we talk about environment, ecology, we can see a lot of current affairs questions within that. Is that okay, my dear friends? Now, what was quite surprising is that we don't have some of these pakka current affairs kind of questions in the paper. Rather, current affairs was there from the conventional segments that are, conventional segments, the static areas that we would generally prepare from. Having said that, my dear friends, now as we looked at the questions, what is different? How is this paper different? If you look at the GK questions, my dear friends, the general knowledge questions that came, which we can also call as current affairs questions, because many of them concentrated on something in the recent times. So I was surprised to see questions on sports. There is a question on Summer Olympics. There is a question on ICC World Test Championship. There is a question on Laureus World Sports Award. All these things was quite surprising because it's been quite some time since UPSC had given a question on sports, my dear friends. And I'm so glad that sports has again come back to the prelims. Sports has come back to the prelims domain. Probably the UPSC is trying to hint to you that it's not enough if you just sit and study. You need to do some physical exercise as well. Fitness challenge, Fit India challenge. Okay. All right, my dear friends. Having said that, one more exception. One more thing that has come back that was not seen for quite some years now is the assertion and reasoning kind of a question, wherein you have two statements and statement 1 and 2 being correct. Statement 2 is the reason for 1. They are independently correct. 1 is wrong, 1 is correct. This kind of questions had almost escaped from the civil service exam sphere for quite some time now, and even that has come back. That is one more thing, my dear friends. Excuse me, please. And glad that they have given you a GK question on Bharat Ratna and Padma Awards and all that. Very much to know, my dear friends. Many of you as IAS, as great officers may be entitled to that at some point of time in your life. All the best for you for that. Now, coming to the polity segment, what I saw, my dear friends, there are two types of questions. One type of question, one category of question where what you know in depth in polity. I really like the questions like constitutional government. Okay, there is a question on what constitutional government means. There is a question on concentration of wealth. There is a question on state. What exactly is a state? And there are questions on these judicial custody and parole. I know now one thing, my dear friends. This trend actually started in 2017. Okay, from 2017 onwards, this trend started where UPSC actually tries to get a little deeper into your knowledge. It wants to check whether your knowledge is at a superficial cosmetic level, or is it slightly deeper. Do you know, is your knowledge organic and organized? It wants to check whether your knowledge is organic. Those kind of questions. In the polity, these were like really good questions, my dear friends. Which actually checks whether you have made the preparation organic. Is that clear, my dear friends? Now, the other questions. See again the safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy. Then question on one more question I saw very similar to that, my dear friends. Not the right to property, because that's anyway something that you always keep reading about, even in your polity books. What else? Okay. The other questions are mostly to do with the conventional polity questions that you can answer only if you have read the polity textbook well. I can call them as Lakshmikant book questions, my dear friends. Okay, so those kind of questions. So those kind of questions are there. Plus, starting from the trend of 2017, we also have these questions that check the depth and intensity and organic nature of your preparation, my dear friends. Okay, that is about polity that I can see here, my dear friends. If I see through the polity questions, science questions, as you see, the science questions, they are also like that. You have two categories of questions. One, you should have updated the current affairs and all that. Another is general science. Okay, are you looking around the world with an element of curiosity, with an element of inquisitiveness? Then you will be able to answer those questions. Those are the nature of science questions that I could see. And if you come to the geography questions this time, as a departure from last 3 to 4 years, are good in number. You have around 14 questions, if I am not wrong. One second, my dear friends, I'll tell you almost. I could see around, just give me a while. I could see really good number of questions in geography, my dear friends. Almost around 14 questions. Okay, which is a significant jump compared to the previous years. But as such, there are no direct map-based questions. Like it used to come in the past, there are no direct map-based questions. But questions involve, again, just like in polity, in science, even in geography, you need to have some depth. See, black soil, if you see the question, they haven't asked you directly. It's weathering of basalts and all that. They have said fissure volcanic rock. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friend? So, they're actually checking how organic your preparation has been. Okay, are you someone who is understanding things from the roots, or is your preparation just at a shallow level? Is that clear, my dear friends? So that is clear in the questions from savanna, the question from black soil, the question from the tropical rainforest and all of that, my dear friends. And then there are some there are some questions which is actually testing you how well you have read the map. For example, even though they are not map questions per se, like the way it would generally come in geography, something like, which are the littoral countries around the Mediterranean or the Black Sea. Such kind of questions are not there. But then I really like that question on which river ultimately joins Indus. Yeah, so they're seeing someone who has really studied, really sit and studied, my dear friends. Didwana Kuchinam was a surprise, but in my geography made easy class, I generally make a mention of it. Didwana, Kuchinam, and all these lakes in the Rajasthan. Okay, so I was happy that people who attended geography made easy, they would have remembered that, they would have answered that question right. So I really like this question on Eastern Ghats, my dear friends, because see, if you know that Brahmani and Subarnarekha are north of Eastern Ghats, if you just know that one fact, by elimination you will get the correct answer. So geography also, what we can clearly see is, my dear friends, and there is this question on the westerlies, okay, and the trade winds. See, again, if you look at these questions, it just resonates with the philosophy of IAS Vinicius, my dear friends. IAS Vinicius believes in this. It believes in building the knowledge organically. It believes in building the knowledge in a very organized way. So it always comes from the roots. And only if you have studied like that, you will be able to answer all these questions correctly. Is that okay, my dear friends? So that way, geography was a mix of geography. This is what they are testing: how well you have read the textbook, not how superficially. It's not just about whether you know the facts. It's about why those facts are facts. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friends? That's how I can see with reference to geography, environment and ecology. As always, the questions are mostly from the current affairs, and people who would have properly followed the current affairs of environment and ecology should have been able to easily connect to those questions and must have answered it correctly, my dear friends. There are conventional questions as well, like the blue carbon and all that. You must have done really, really well there. And finally, if you see the economy questions, just like polity, number one, it tests whether you are someone who can look around and make sense of the economy, number one. And number two, do you have that academic inclination as well, wherein you can whatever you read, can you read it like an intellectual? Can you read it like a scholar? Even that is being tested, my dear friend. So this is something that I could clearly decipher out of UPSC's scheme of things. This is something that I could clearly, out of conviction, I could decipher from UPSC's way of setting the questions for civil service exam. It's trying to test two things. One, are you someone who is smart enough to understand the world around you? Just by being a practical observer of things around you, can you make sense of what's happening and how it matters to you, how it is actually solving the needs, and how it is attending to the problems of people and all that. As an administrator in becoming, you need to have that practical eye where you can understand the problems and develop solutions to them proactively. So that is one thing that is being tested, my dear friends, where you're just able to see around, make sense, take that as a knowledge, and be able to apply it when need be, like for example in the prelims paper 1. Okay, that's one. And two, my dear friends, is your academic abilities. Okay, if a book is given to you, how well you can read that book, comprehend, and having comprehended the information that is there in the book, how well you can organize it in your head so that you're able to use that information whenever it is needed. These are two very, very clearly identifiable, clearly identifiable things that I could see in the pattern of paper 1. One, see around, get the knowledge out of it, be able to apply. Two, see into the books organically and in an organized way, build that knowledge or acquire that knowledge and use it, apply it whenever needed. Is that clear, my dear friends? So, this is a really, really good paper. Most of you who have given your heart and soul into preparation must have done extraordinarily well in paper one, my dear friends. Even if you don't feel so, don't allow that to interfere with your paper two performance. Just concentrate on that and do extraordinarily well. Plus, don't, if you are not very confident of paper one, okay, don't waste your time checking for answers and all that, my dear friends. Please don't. And don't see it as an escape into, some kind of a holiday. Just start preparing for mains. Okay, you never know how the cutoff is going to be, how the cutoff is going to surprise us like it always does. Okay, so just get your mains books in place, and in my subsequent video I'm going to share with you some of the very, very useful tips for you to do extraordinarily well in mains, especially in terms of the preparation to mains. I'm going to be sharing those tips with you. Tune into my next video that is going to come on mains, and you'll be learning something that is very, very useful for you mains. Thank you very much, my dear friends. See you all in my video on mains. Thank you very much.